Ladies and gentlemen, Husky Mag is back and we have all kinds of stuff to hit. I'm Ted LaRue, that's Taylor Budge. Taylor, let's get right to it with some SCSU football from Saturday.
Yeah, that's right, Ted. We pick things up right away in the first quarter. Wayne State quarterback Zach Osborne finding senior receiver Adam Stark. He takes it to the house. 60 yards, Wayne State on top 3 minutes into the game, 6-0. St. Cloud State looking to respond, but Nate Meyer looking a little shaky early on in this one. Can't find Taylor Berger here, a little too much mustard on that pass. But the Cardinal Red and Black responded as Mr. Ricori himself, Nate Meyer, finishes this drive with a 1-yard touchdown run. Huskies and Wildcats are tied 6-all. Kickers not looking very effective in this game either with back-to-back misses, but taking things to the second quarter now. Meyer throwing the second of his 2 interceptions as he sails over Taylor Berger into the hands of Chase Manuel. Speaking of interceptions, Keyshawn Davis steps right in front of this Zach Osborne pass to acquire the takeaway. He had 2 picks on the day. That's also a Blizzard's best nominee. Now speaking of the best, Kenny Walker was the best in this return game today as he takes this one 53 yards deep into Wayne State territory. Late hit gives the Huskies 15 more yards. Kenny Walker finishes what he started as he plunges in from 5 yards out. Huskies extend their lead 16-6 at the break. Now, Ted, tell me how the second half looked for the Huskies.
It went great with a capital G, Taylor, as we take a look. Second half now, Jamison Parsons taking over, quite literally. Jamison Parsons taking it on the quarterback sweep into the end zone. Huskies lead 23-6. Wayne State, though, responding, finishing off a long drive with a nice 16-yard screen pass from Zach Osborne to Tyler Johnson. Wildcats failed on the 2-point conversion. Huskies maintain a 23-12 lead. St. Cloud State once again responding. Parsons doing his best Philip Klopp hockey impression, taking the zone read 41 yards all the way to the 9-yard line. Kenny Walker, though, all he does is score touchdowns, man. Getting his second of the day right here from 10 yards out. Moving ahead now to the fourth quarter. Huskies, all the momentum, completely in control at this point as we go to the fourth quarter. Keyshawn Davis holding that key to the defense as he grabs his second pick of the day. Nice, jumping the route, taking the takeaway right there for the Huskies. That leads to Liddell White passing up on the right stick on the controller, instead mashing that circle button spin move as Liddell White gets into the end zone. Huskies running away with it at Husky Stadium on Saturday. Kenny Walker, though, he's running away from the D on this run. Excuse me while I hang out in the end zone, Kenny Walker says. 42 yards to the house. Huskies grab a 43-20 win in the home opener at Wayne State. Let's dive into the stats here from this matchup on Saturday, 43-20. As you can see, the final score, Zach Osborne 288 and 3 scores through the air. Kenny Walker, though, 3 touchdowns on the ground, but it was quite the rushing attack for St. Cloud State in this one.
That's right, Ted. And taking a look at the quarterbacks too, Parsons, he led that second half a majority of the way. He left on an injury on his index finger. We'll see how he's doing this weekend, but he did go for 98 yards and scored his first touchdown of the year. Liddell White, 67 yards and a touchdown as well.
So yeah, St. Cloud State 43-20 win. Now as we take a look going forward, the out-of-town scores. Minnesota Duluth barely getting by Augustana. That's their second close game in a row. Southwest Minnesota State 56-31 over MN Crookston. Winona State 42-34 taking down UMary. And the Mankato Mavericks once again demolishing the opponent 69-13.
Yeah, let's take a look at some of these other scores. Talking about domination, look at Upper Iowa. The Peacocks dominating 49-3 on that offensive run. Sioux Falls, the Huskies' opponent for next week, they were looking strong against Bemidji State, 52-19 that final. And Northern State barely getting away with Concordia St. Paul, that final 28-21. Now taking a look at the AFCA football poll, Northwest Missouri, they're continuing to lead overall, sitting number 1 with a 2-0 overall record. Minnesota State, conference rival, they're sitting at number 3 in the division. And
Minnesota Duluth Huskies going to play them at home in October. They're 4th in the country after just barely squeaking by in a couple of games this season. You got Pittsburgh State, Henderson State checking in at number 7 and number 8. St. Cloud State at number 19, jumping up from number 24. St. Cloud State set to take on Sioux Falls next week. KVSC's Skinny and Lengthy has a preview right here.
Last weekend, we saw St. Cloud State defeat Wayne State College here at Husky Stadium with a terrific running game. It's definitely going to be a focal point moving forward throughout the season and starts next weekend against the University of Sioux Falls.
Yeah, with that, we've been talking about a quarterback controversy here at St. Cloud State. It'll be interesting to see who starts at quarterback, but it all starts with the ground game for the Huskies. Over 200 yards on the ground this past weekend against Wayne State, only 50 through the air. So you got to think establishing the running game against a very good Sioux Falls team is going to be a key point for SCSU.
Well, especially, too, it starts with the offensive line that returns a lot of players from the previous season, and they're going to have to hold those blocks long enough so guys like Liddell White and Kenneth Walker can break out those big runs.
Kenny Walker had a fantastic game, 3 touchdowns. You hope that he can continue to get the bulk of the carries. Him and Liddell White really smash and dash, but very, very good from the offensive line. Like you said, brought back a lot of seniors on that team.
And also, we had a quarterback controversy. Like we said, we've seen Nate Meyer, Jamison Parsons both get reps throughout the first 2 games. We've seen Nate Meyer start both games, but we've seen Jamison Parsons finish both games. Do you think Jamison Parsons starts and finishes this Saturday?
If his finger's okay, I think you got to start Jamison. 9 carries, 98 yards. The offense just really clicked a little bit more with him. I do expect to see both of them play again in Sioux Falls.
And the defense, obviously a big game last week, especially Keyshawn Davis. He picked off 2 passes. It's kind of nice that St. Cloud State has some playmakers on the defensive side of the football.
Yeah, Wayne State, they didn't really go at Jordan Safon or Risinger that much. They really tried to pick on the redshirt freshman and Keyshawn Davis, and he really stepped up. It's nice to see those young, inexperienced guys getting those reps in big games and stepping up.
And also the defensive line. The defensive line has to get, I think, more consistent pressure on the quarterback. We were able to see that last week against Wayne State, and if you're able to pressure the quarterback, you're going to have guys like Keyshawn Davis picking off passes.
Absolutely. The Husky defense, if they can get some pressure on Sioux Falls, they might be able to turn the tide. We already saw them go on the road and didn't really get that much pressure on the defensive end, but if they can get that team going, get a lead early, they haven't gotten a lead early in either game. If they can get a lead going early in Sioux Falls, maybe put the pressure on the Cougars a little bit, Huskies might be able to pull out an upset.
Football isn't the only sport making a return to action this fall.
Yeah, that's right, Ted. Husky volleyball took on Duluth. Soccer squared off with Emporia State and UMD. Golf hit the links away from the Granite City as well. Did they take home W's? We'll find out next after the break.
You're watching UTVS, local TV for the Granite City. Visit utvsnews.com for all of your local news. Watching UTVS, local TV for the Granite City. UTVS News, weekdays at 5 and 6. UTVS News, weekdays at 5 and 6.
With the college hockey season only a couple of weeks away, fans around the St. Cloud area have anticipated the announcement of the men's hockey captains for the upcoming season. After a Frozen Four appearance and 2 regular season championships in the past 2 seasons, the Huskies are looking to continue their hunt for success, with head coach Bob Motzko returning for his 10th season. Last week, Motzko announced his 3 leaders for the upcoming year. Nick Oliver, who was the assistant under Dowd and Gravel last season, will be the head man for the Huskies, with seniors Tim Daly and Andrew Prochnow serving as assistants. The Huskies went 21-11-5 in the first year of the NCHC last season and are looking to continue where they left off, as they open up their season with an exhibition game versus Trinity Western on October 4th and their regular season opener starting the week after at home versus Colgate.
Volleyball at St. Cloud State is looking to make a big jump this year in the NSIC, and some early season success has the Huskies riding high. St. Cloud State taking on 3rd-ranked UMD on the hardwood. Duluth in the first set, setting things up for Mariah Sharp as she powers it down. Duluth takes the first set. Second set now, SCSU hanging tough. Caitlin Dowdy with the sledgehammer. Huskies still trailing in set 2. Dowdy's kill attempt deflected. Duluth set things up for Maddie Saroin between the block. Down on the floor, Duluth takes set 2. UMD leading 24-23 in the final set. Katie Ledwell serves up the final point. Duluth takes the sweep 3-0 over the Huskies. Taking a look at the stats from this one, as we said, 3-0 Duluth with the sweep, but it was close in the final 2 sets. Dowdy with 10 kills for the Huskies.
That's right. It was a close game, even though Duluth is ranked 3rd in the nation. Taking a look at Erin Ullman, 28 assists on the night as she led the team for the Huskies.
Head coach Michelle Blazer was pretty pleased and optimistic going forward.
You know, we're playing the 3rd team in the nation, and I thought our team had a lot of composure. And to the point where I told him going into this third set, give me a little bit more energy, just because we usually are really excited. So what can I tell you? I can tell you that 25-23 in the third and then losing in 2 in the second. St. Cloud State is here, and we are going to be fighting for that conference, and for us to play against Duluth the way we just did should give us enough confidence and demeanor to be able to go out there and push against anyone.
Prior to the game against UMD, junior defensive specialist Brianne Stamer was honored as NSIC Defensive Player of the Week. Stamer had 94 digs in 13 sets over the weekend down in Florida, a period of 4 games in which the Huskies posted a 3-1 record. She's good, but according to her teammates, they're even better.
We played really good this weekend as a team, and our blocking especially was really good, so they were funneling it really well. So honestly, I didn't have to move that much on defense because our blocking was doing so well.
Friday, the Husky soccer team took on Emporia State in the home opener, heading out of the pitch that is Husky Stadium. Husky starters getting introduced, taking on Emporia State as we pick things up in the 28th minute. ESU on the attack. Elizabeth High somehow, some way getting past all the Husky defenders, puts the Hornets ahead 1-0. Fast forward now to the 60th minute. Emporia setting up for a free kick. Emily Hoon putting the strike in striker as she puts it into the back of the net. 81st minute now, Abby McDonald getting the credit for this own goal, but it wasn't enough. Huskies fall 2-1 in the home opener. We take a look at the stats from this one. Emporia State, as we said, 2-1 win in this one. They go to 3-1 overall. Huskies have dropped 2 out of their first 3. True freshman Abby McDonald, 1 goal and 3 shots on goal in this one. Plumbin in net had 5 saves. Greta Arvidsson had the following to say following the loss.
Great consistent performance over preseason, and we're really excited to have her on squad. She finds some good moments and has fantastic speed. The one consistent thing for our team is we have a competitive spirit, and we know how to bring it, and we showed a glimpse of who we want to be, and I think that's very exciting for our team moving forward.
The Huskies were back on the field on Sunday in Duluth, looking to bounce back from their home opener loss and gain their first W in the NSIC. But the Bulldogs' defense had other intentions, shutting out the Huskies 3-0. The Bulldogs got on the board only a minute into the game and never looked back. Maureen Stormont lit it up for the Bulldogs. She had 2 goals on the day. As for the Huskies, Faith Billa led the way with 2 shots on goal, while goaltender Brittany Plowman stopped 12 of 15 shots and shut out the Bulldogs in the second half. Both St. Cloud and U of M Duluth sit at 1-3 on the young season. Now, St. Cloud State's men's golf team was on the course this week in Nebraska, competing in the Nebraska Kearney Fall Invite. SCSU shot a team score of 899 over the past 2 days to finish 4th place in the 14-team field. Senior Tyler Covisto shot 3 under through 3 rounds to finish 3rd on the leaderboard. Freshman sensation Jack McClintock out of Rugby, North Dakota, finished 19th after shooting 8 over through 54 holes. St. Cloud finished 32 shots behind leaders University of Minnesota Mankato. Now, are you looking for another way to stay up to date on all your St. Cloud State athletics or to check out local area high school scores? Be sure to follow Husky Mag on Twitter for all the latest sports news from the Granite City.
Rocori is known for past names like Eric Decker and Nate Meyer. But the future on the field for Rocori is all about the other football. Taylor Budge has a story next.
Watching UTVS, local TV for the Granite City. UTVS News, weekdays at 5 and 6. You're watching UTVS, local TV for the Granite City.
There's a new trend spreading around Rocori High School this year that has gotten over 60 students involved as its popularity continues to expand across the area. I went out to practice this week in Cold Spring to see what the brand new Rocori High School varsity soccer teams have under their belt in their inaugural season.
It's going to be cool looking back 20 years from now, maybe walking down the hallway and seeing that I was part of the very first program.
It may be known as the world's most played sport, but at Rocori High School, soccer is just kicking off.
And I was super excited, so if I'm going to join, this is the year to do it.
After several years of working to get a soccer program approved by the Rocori School Board, the all-clear was given last spring for the inaugural season of varsity soccer for both boys and girls, something that Athletic Director Joel Baumgarten was thrilled to approve.
It was just a scramble to put it together. We had to get fields and nets and balls and uniforms, and so what it came down to is we have a start, and now we can build from there.
I know a lot of our school and population has been waiting for this, and it's just good because a lot of these athletes don't play football or don't play a fall sport, so this really gives them an opportunity to be connected to the school.
The players come from all different skill levels, and though they may not have the perfect record this season to show off their success, head coach Ryan Finney-Frock says the team takes it one day at a time.
We've made a lot of progress. Our team, if you'd have seen us out here the first day, we've come a long way. We still have a long way to go. We're working on the little things like we've seen today in practice. To get better each and every day is really our goal.
But win or lose this season, this has already been a year to remember as the community is able to join together to cheer on a new sport.
I just hope that we all have fun and we win someday big.
Compete with each other. We're going to split into 2 teams eventually here in about... There you go. Keep going.
Both teams look to add wins to their column this season before they transfer over to the CLC next season. And from the college ranks to Friday Night Lights, was Rocori able to top Tech in a battle of 1-1 teams? High school highlights are coming up next.
UTVS News, weekdays at 5 and 6. You're watching UTVS, local TV for the Granite City. UTVS News, weekdays at 5 and 6. UTVS News, weekdays at 5 and 6. You're watching UTVS, local TV for the Granite City. Watching UTVS, local TV for the Granite City. Visit utvsnews.com for all of your local news. You're watching UTVS, local TV for the Granite City.
Tuesday was a busy night for high school soccer in the Granite City, where it was Apollo, who was ranked 3rd in the state. They took on CLC rival St. Cloud Tech. It was a huge regular season matchup as both teams had yet to lose in conference play. Apollo, who was in red, got on the board first in the opening half, but Tech wasn't intimidated by this top-ranked Apollo team. The Tigers would go on to score 2 unanswered goals before time was up, but Apollo was able to tie the game up. 2 overtimes wasn't enough to find a winner in this one, as Apollo and Tech would go on to tie 2-2 apiece.
There is truly nothing like the Friday Night Lights. Let's head first to Albany for the first of our high school football games. Albany taking on Cathedral at Michael Field in Albany. Huskies getting things started as Taylor Foray keeps it himself, takes it to the house for a Husky touchdown. Albany up early in this one. Cathedral responds. Mason Corriere takes it 80 yards to the barn. Cathedral and Albany all tied up. Fast forward to the second half. Cathedral down 7. Not for long as Jake Spinall hits up with Tommy Auger for the 10-yard TD. Huskies looking to ice the game after this touchdown. Hold on a second. Wait a minute. Is this an Albany pass? You bet. Foray finds Zach Tomsky for a 44-yard touchdown bomb. Albany remains undefeated at 3-0 as they hold on 21-14 over the Crusaders. As we take a look at the stats from this one, as we said, 21-14. Albany goes to 3-0. Cathedral falls for the first time this season. They drop to 2-1. Foray, 100 yards and a touchdown on the ground. 6 of 8, 67 yards and a touchdown. Foray had a fantastic day.
First half, second half, we got it together. Team victory.
You know, I've been here a long time, and it's always been a big rivalry in many sports. And I think it's It's just a good, healthy sportsmanship. Cathedral, great athletes. They conduct themselves very well. I will say that, and our grades do too. So when you get two teams like that in any sport, it makes for great high school competition. Doesn't get any better.
After Albany's win, they remain undefeated on top of the Granite Ridge Conference, sitting at a perfect 2-0 in conference play and 3-0 overall. Becker sits on top of the Albany Huskies. They remain undefeated after conquering Foley by 46 points on Friday night.
And after Cathedral suffered their first loss of the season, they now sit in the middle of the pack with a .500 record. Taking a look at other notable teams, Little Falls, Zimmerman, and Malacca also share the slot in the middle of the conference, while both Foley and Malacca are looking to pick up their first W in conference play. And it came down to a fourth quarter touchdown by Rocori to clinch their second win on the young season over conference opponent St. Cloud Tech during Friday Night Lights in Cold Spring last week. Rocori started with the ball in this game, but after an early fumble recovery by Tech, it led to an early 3-0 Tiger lead. Rocori would bounce back, though, after having the lead at halftime. Rocori sealed the deal in the fourth quarter after a 1-yard rushing touchdown by Alex Booty. Tech would score a touchdown in the final minute of the game, but came up short, falling to Rocori 18-16. With the win, Rocori jumped to 2-1 on the young season. And taking a look at the stats of this game, 18-16 is the final. Tech dropped to 1-2 and has yet to pick up a conference win on the young season. Booty, as I mentioned, with 61 yards on the night and 2 touchdowns. Olson also had 27 yards for Rocori.
Apollo squaring off with Sauk Rapids right off Highway 15 at Mitchie Field, starting things off with a handoff right up the middle and, well, forward progress, right? No, absolutely not. Ethan Legg has his name written all over the ball, therefore it's his. He takes it all the way to the house to get Sauk Rapids on the board early in this one. That's a Blizzard's Best nominee. Apollo responding quickly. How about this nice screen pass? Ben Alvord dumps it to Evan Ressier. He does the rest. 27-yard touchdown. Apollo ahead 19-6 at this point. Storm looking to come back, and they run the oldest play in the book, the good old option. Mitch Waldorf takes it in from 16 yards out. Apollo lead cut to 26-12. Eagles looking to put the game away here later in this one, and that's exactly what they do. Ethan Novachinsky is wide open, 14-yard touchdown catch. Apollo puts the nail in the coffin as Alford dials up with Novachinsky once again. 63-yard connection here. Apollo proceeds to bury Sauk Rapids 40-20 for the CLC victory.
Run the ball a little bit, and we did some things. Ben Elver, our quarterback, and running back Evan Razier ran the ball well. They started to put 6-7 guys in the box, and then that opened the passing game in the second quarter on for us. Yeah, you know, Ben Elvor's a 4-year starter for us, and he's gotten better every game, and that's kind of been our motto this year, is that we want to improve every game and make sure that we're peaking by the playoffs, and I think we took a big step forward tonight as far as that.
After Apollo's big win over Sauk Rapids, the Eagles continue to remain in first place in the Central Lake Conference South standings with a 2-0 conference record and sit at 2-1 overall. But Sartell leads the way after Derek Husky ran for many yards in that game. He led Sartell to their third straight win on the year.
Rocori picked up their first conference win over Tech, and as you mentioned, Taylor, they, along with Wilmer, sit in the middle of the South standings, while St. Cloud Tech and Sauk Rapids are still looking for their first conference wins on the young season.
For the latest in Central Minnesota sports, check out our YouTube page at youtube.com/HuskyMag.
It's a huge week coming up in high school football. Super 32 Power Brainerd comes to St. Cloud to take on the Apollo Eagles. That and an in-depth look at area games is coming up.
Ashley Bain is in next with this week's previews.
You're watching UTVS, local TV for the Granite City. UTVS News, weekdays at 5 and 6. UTVS News, weekdays at 5 and 6. UTVS News, weekdays at 5 and 6. You're watching UTVS, local TV for the Granite City. UTVS News, weekdays at 5 and 6. UTVS News, weekdays at 5 and 6. You're watching UTVS, local TV for the Granite City.
Hi, I'm Ashley Bain and I'll be doing the previews for this week. Women's volleyball has 3 big conference games coming up this week. The Huskies start off with University of Sioux Falls taking action on September 19th at 7 p.m. in Hallenbeck Hall. Following that game on September 20th, the Huskies also take on Southwest Minnesota State University at 4 p.m. in Hallenbeck Hall. The women will be back in action later this week as they travel to Bemidji State when they face the Beavers. The St. Cloud State women's soccer team will also be in action this weekend, starting in Aberdeen, South Dakota, as they take on Northern State. They finish the weekend off on Sunday as they travel to Moorhead to face the MSU Dragons. In high school football, Sauk Rapids will be looking for their first win when they take on Fergus Falls in Sauk Rapids. In the Granite City, Cathedral will be looking to get back in the win column when they host Little Falls at the Husky Stadium. Back in the CLC, Apollo will be hosting Brainerd. Apollo, of course, is coming off a big win against CLC rival Sauk Rapids. The conference leader in the Granite City, the Albany Huskies, host the Malacca Wolves at Michael Field in Albany.
What do a Sauk Rapids defensive touchdown and a Keyshawn Davis interception have in common? They make up 2/3 of Blizzard's best for this week. It's coming up. Don't go away.
You're watching UTVS, local TV for the Granite City. You're watching UTVS, local TV for the Granite City. UTVS News, weekdays at 5 and 6.
Ted, we've had a lot of great action across the St. Cloud area this week. With that comes a lot of highlights.
We got 3 plays that are going to flat out blow your mind. Let's get right into it. Starting at number 3, it's Blizzard's best. Let's take a look. Number 3, St. Cloud Apollo on the run. They're going to hand things off. They're going to go down, right? It's forward progress, right? No, it's not. Ethan Legg has his name written all over that football. He's going to take it back to the house. That's number 3. Apollo goes on to win this one 40-20. Let's take a look at number 2, Taylor.
Yeah, that's right, Keyshawn Davis. We talked about this earlier in the show. 2 interceptions on the day. Here's one right here. Big play for the Huskies. Huskies went and got the first win of the season on the home opener.
Number 1, your top play of the week. Ricori looking to go to the end zone. I don't think so. Jake Martik, look at those tiptoes. 1, 2. Getting them both in. That's impressive, Taylor.
Very much so. Now, Ted, 1 week down and a bunch more to go.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. Thanks, everybody, for watching Husky Mag. We'll have a recap next week right here. Join us.